let me get everyone in. Suhel, I know you want to rebut, but let's get all the points of view in. Let's get to Michael Ferreira. My question is this: Mr. Ferreira, the choice tonight is between hoping against hope that we get 1 or 2 gold medals at the Olympics at the most, or maybe a few more, versus bringing justice to the hundreds of thousands of families who are still bearing the consequences of the worst industrial tragedy in the world. Would any other country but India have kept quiet and swallowed its pride with Dow participating in the way it is at the Olympics?
I firmly believe that the government of India has to pay for the sins of the past. I don't think it is fair to extract vengeance via the athletes. But the government of India has to stand up and hold its hand up and pay for its disgraceful attitude way back in the 1980s when it allowed Union Carbide to get away with almost, well, literally murder for a paltry sum of $490 million. And they should do all they can to bring pressure. I agree with Suhel, it's not possible at the last minute to get Dow to withdraw. But on the other hand, why can this
why are we conceding defeat?
Situation not be examined afresh?
Why conceding defeat?
It's not defeat or no.
You're conceding defeat.
It's not defeat.
We're not conceding defeat.
Michael said the right thing. Michael said the right thing. It's not defeat. Let's not become over jingoistic and simplify things. Every person in Bhopal who suffered is a person who's a citizen of India, whose government's primary responsibility it is to guarantee them a good life with good health. It is not Dow Chemicals, it is not the London Olympic Committee.
So you are treating this matter as closed.
The problem onto the shoulders. You know, we are a soft state.
No, you are trying to treat this matter as closed.
The reality is we are a soft state.
That's the case.
No, we are a soft state.
So, I'm sorry, Suhel. You say
today,
jingoistic.
if you didn't highlight this problem, let's say if Times Now didn't highlight this problem.
1 minute.
Let me ask you, how many politicians will stand up and agree to be counted?
Why should we care whether they do or not?
That they've inflicted on
as
the
Indian citizens, we can. Let me tell you, Suhel, my basic point of argument is, where Michael Ferreira is, that you are trying to make this argument that Dow is not responsible for Bhopal, cases closed, money is being paid.
I'm not making that argument
at all.
I'm making the argument that the Indian government is responsible.
I don't think anybody is
saying that.
No, but Dow and Union Carbide are defenders.
Why should Indian taxpayers pay for Dow's crimes?
Arnab, don't misquote me.
I'm not, sir.
Don't misquote me. 100% Dow Chemicals has to take responsibility. They have inherited the toxic legacy of the company that
but they
took
don't.
over. They cannot abdicate responsibility.
They won't. Unless
they cannot
face...
abdicate responsibility. The simple question is, will anything be gained by India withdrawing from the Olympics?
Why not?
I would say go a step further.
Exactly.
Run them out of the country. Hit them where it hurts.
Well, let me put that to Meredith.
Pack up, get out.
I want to put that to Meredith. Meredith would give us an opinion on that. Meredith, you're watching the debate here. What will be gained if India takes this further? Go on.
I can't see what's happening in the studio there, so it's hard for me to jump in, but thank you for coming to me again. I think it's really important for people to take a stand and say Dow Chemicals has responsibility for this tragedy, and Dow Chemicals must see justice done for the victims. And the only way to do that is to stand up. Stand up for your principles. Now, I appreciate for the athletes, it's a horrible choice. Of course, they've spent their whole life preparing for this. But the Dow Chemicals tragedy is a scar on the conscience of everyone who will be involved in the Olympics, whether that's the people here in London who are hosting the Games, or the athletes, not just from India, but from around the world. I've been contacted by so many people since I resigned who've said they wish they could do something about this. And it sounds to me like all of you in the studio, you all have the ability to take steps to create change and stand up to the company. And that's really what I would like to see you do.
Suhel's responding to you.
Look, Meredith, while I completely empathize and I salute you for the stand you've taken, we live in a real India which is still bereft of accountability of the political classes. We live in an India where we will bring these issues to the fore, where we have gallant people like Satyanath Sarangi who will fight for the cause, but even they will lose out to the perpetual silence of the political classes. We believe that by preventing athletes from taking part in the London Olympics, we will still not ensure a clean Bhopal rid of toxic waste. It is this reality that we confront every day in our lives. So what we want is, we don't want the government to pass on the problem. We want Dow Chemicals to be shamed internationally. We want Dow Chemicals to be punished.
How will it happen if you let them off on this? How will it happen if you let them off on this?
My friends, Arnab, why are we using conduits to punish people?
No.
Why are you using the London Olympics and the Indian athletes to punish Dow Chemicals?
Simple point is,
if you have the courage, punish Dow Chemicals by taking them to international courts.
Suhel, the Dow and Union Carbide are defendants in a public interest litigation, Sahu versus Union Carbide, for cleanup of the factory site, which is pending before the Second Circuit Court of Appeals in New York. How can Dow claim it has no liability towards the Bhopal tragedy? Why doesn't the Indian government throw this fact on the face of the London Olympics organizers who have said that, ask the Indian government what they are doing? They are party to this.
Now you've hit the nail.
Yes, I have. Thank you for saying that.
You've brought in a third party. Now you want the New York courts to deliver justice on Dow Chemicals, so then Dow Chemicals spends the $22 million in order to clean up Bhopal.
Sir, I am making a point.
This is a web of deceit that Dow Chemicals will live under. Trust me.
No.
The reality is, our people have to be responsible.
Satin, I am simply making a point. There's federal class action litigation which is pending before a before a New York court. The matter is not settled. The London Olympics chief executive who made that comment to Times Now today is factually wrong. That's the only point I'm making, and he's not been contradicted. Meredith resigned, but he's not being contradicted. The Indian government should have the courage to contradict him. Satyanath, isn't that true?
Exactly. It is true. Dow has been facing not just in the federal court in the US, but also in the Madhya Pradesh High Court. And all they continue to do is, we are not responsible, same paradigm. And they're taking advantage of the fact that they're based in the US, that not they're an Indian corporation.
Now, to Tarlochan Singh, my question is,
from the Bhopal District Court in the criminal case.
Mr. Tarlochan Singh, I'm sorry to keep you waiting so long.
Please.
But I want to ask you simply, please don't take it otherwise, sir. I have great respect for you. You are the Vice President of the Indian Olympic Association. Sir, what was the Indian Olympic Association doing till the 27th of January, which is today, 2012? Because I find it almost embarrassing that within minutes of the resignation of Miss Meredith Alexander, who is on the show today, you send a letter quoting what Meredith Alexander has written to Mr. Jacques Roche. You're basically worried that she has taken the wind from your sails. What you should have done, she has done.
You see, we have been writing letters showing our protest both with the International Olympic Committee as well as with the Organizing Committee in London. And we have achieved one thing. The Organizing Committee of London has already decided there will be no display of the Dow Chemical on anywhere. No name is being printed. First it was on the outside of the stadium, which they agreed to remove it. Now that is one achievement. Secondly, we welcome what people in UK are doing. After all, it is an international goodwill for the victims of Bhopal. We have written today again to International Olympic Committee. Now they have not responded yet, and perhaps you are aware that.
So why are you trying to play down the involvement of Dow?
Is a sponsor with the All Olympics.
So you are trying to tell me that the matter is already resolved? Let me ask Meredith, is that true?
No.
Does Dow have no? Does Dow have? Let her answer you, sir. Please allow her. Meredith, is it true, as the Vice President of the Indian Olympic Association says, that Dow has hardly got any involvement left with the Olympics?
No,
I don't think that's true at all, and I don't think that was.
Let her answer, sir.
I agree that the name is not going to appear, but every athlete and every spectator will have to walk past that ramp on that stadium, and they will all know that Dow Chemicals was responsible. Now, I've taken a principled stand. People in India have taken principled stands. The campaign and the issue is not going to go away. And for those of us here in London who are very excited about the Games, this is just a terrible scar on our conscience to know that Dow Chemicals is so involved. And particularly given that the wrap isn't essential, it's not going to ruin the games to remove the wrap. It's not even going to ruin the stadium. The wrap is absolutely unnecessary.
Yeah.
And it would be a very, very powerful message if the London Games organisers were to cancel that contract.
It's become